Imagine you want to buy your dream car, or move into that perfect home, or maybe want to start your own business. You've worked hard, saved some money, and now it's time to take that leap. But there's one invisible number that could either open all these doors for you or slam them shut. Your credit score. A 3-digit number that carries the power to shape almost every financial decision in your life. It's the key that controls whether you can afford that car, house, or business dream. The real question is, how did we allow a mere number to have so much control over us? In this video, we're diving into the dark world of credit scores, how it works, why it exists, and how this system quietly controls your life in ways you may have never imagined.
Credit score.
Credit score.
Credit score.
Credit score.
Credit score. Credit score.
Credit scores.
Life can become more expensive and more difficult as your credit score falls.
Credit scoring system, as it stands, is flawed.
This mysterious number, ranging from 300 to 850, is supposed to represent your creditworthiness. Basically, how trustworthy you are with borrowing money. Credit scores are calculated using information from your credit report. Factors include payment history, debt, types of credit you use, and the length of your credit history. It's a system that seems straightforward at first, but in reality, it's far from simple. 3 major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, collect data on you, and based on that, assign you a credit score. This number becomes your financial reputation. It's your grade in the eyes of lenders, landlords, and even employers. But it doesn't stop there. Its influence goes way deeper. Today's video is brought to you by Prime Emporio, your one-stop destination for various household and fashion products and accessories. Discover the ultimate shopping experience at their online store, offering an extensive range of products. Don't forget to check out their online store and treat yourself to something special. The credit score system wasn't always around. It was largely developed in the mid-20th century in the United States. The credit scoring concept was pioneered by Bill Fair and Earl Isaac, who founded Fair, Isaac & Company in 1956. Before that, lending decisions were based on personal relationships or subjective judgments, meaning loans were often given based on who you knew, not necessarily on your financial habits. Bill Fair was an engineer with a focus on operations research. He had a talent for understanding complex systems and sought ways to use his analytical skills to solve business challenges. Earl Isaac was a mathematician with a strong foundation in applying statistics to real-world problems. He worked at the Stanford Research Institute, where he met Bill. The introduction of credit scores brought a certain level of fairness. Instead of relying on personal biases, lenders now had an objective measure. But as we transitioned to a number-based system, we created a world where a single 3-digit figure became more influential than anyone could have anticipated. Here's where it gets scary. Credit score is not just about loans and credit cards. This number affects countless aspects of your life. The methods used to calculate credit scores are often opaque. Complex algorithms are used that are not publicly disclosed, leaving consumers largely in the dark about how specific actions affect their scores. The credit score system is heavily based on financial history, which perpetuates economic inequality. People from marginalized communities who have historically had less access to financial services, or who face systemic discrimination, may have lower credit scores through no fault of their own. The credit score system creates a self-perpetuating cycle. Those with low scores often face higher interest rates or are denied credit altogether, which can exacerbate financial instability. High interest rates lead to increased costs for loans, making it harder for lower-income borrowers to repay, which then lowers their scores further. A debt trap that keeps people from improving their financial situations. Credit scores focus only on a narrow set of financial behaviors, primarily borrowing, payment history, credit utilization, and length of credit history. Other important aspects of a person's financial life, like rent payments, utility bills, or saving habits, are often excluded. Ironically, having no debt can negatively affect your credit score. People who pay for everything in cash or don't use credit cards may have a lower score due to the lack of credit history, despite being financially responsible. This system encourages borrowing, as someone needs to take on debt and make regular payments to build a credit profile, making it harder for those avoiding debt to be considered creditworthy. Credit scores have found their way into areas beyond borrowing, such as employment and housing. Employers and landlords sometimes use credit scores in their evaluation processes, which can make it harder for people with low scores to find jobs or secure rental housing, even though creditworthiness has limited relevance to their ability to perform well at work or maintain a rental. This broad use of credit scores means that people with past financial struggles face extended repercussions in other aspects of their lives, effectively keeping them from upward mobility. Credit reporting agencies are attractive targets for hackers due to vast amounts of personal financial data. The 2017 Equifax data breach, which affected about 147 million people, highlighted the risks of having personal financial data centralized in this way. Such incidents put millions of people at risk of identity theft and fraud, further compounding their financial struggles. Another dark truth is that credit bureaus often hold incorrect or outdated information. One wrong piece of data, and your credit score could plummet. Millions of people deal with credit report errors every year, errors that can take months or even years to correct. And while you're fighting to fix those mistakes, your life is put on hold. You can't move. You can't get a loan. You can't get a better job. You're stuck. The system actively pushes you into a cycle of dependency. To build credit, you need to use credit. But using credit means taking on debt. If you don't take on debt, your score won't grow. It's a never-ending cycle. The more you play, the deeper you get pulled in. And here's the kicker. Paying off all your debt doesn't mean your credit score will stay high. In fact, if you close old credit accounts after paying them off, your score could drop because of a shorter credit history. Essentially, the system punishes you for trying to be financially responsible and debt-free. So, what can you do about it? How do you take control of your financial future when a number is constantly pulling the strings? You need to play the game smartly. Use credit, but don't let it use you. Keep utilization low. Build financial resilience beyond your score. Establish an emergency fund. Reduce reliance on debt. While the credit score is important, it's not the be-all and end-all of your financial health. The system is powerful, but it's not invincible. The more we understand it, the more we can work around its limitations. The goal isn't to let your life be controlled by a number, but to learn how to make that number work for you, without losing sight of the bigger picture. If we learn how the system works, we can prevent it from quietly ruling our lives.